regenerative cotton? Maybe a simple understanding as a starter.
Yeah, that's not a simple question. So according to us, with Raddis cotton, what regeneration means is we leave behind better than we found it. So it's about more good instead of less bad. It's about restoring, rejuvenating, improving biodiversity, uplifting livelihoods. It's about better, not the same and not less bad, but it's really about actively improving. And that, of course, takes time, but that also asks us to all the time think about it and work on it.
Thank you, Sanne. Thank you so much. Next question, maybe Nora, if you can tell me.
Maybe your question was what Raddis cotton is about.
Yeah, but you spoke about regenerative.
Yeah, and
if you can emphasize more about the cotton project.
Yeah, maybe I want to tell a bit about what Raddis cotton does, and that's actually why we are here on the stage, and I feel so proud because we have Nora, our partner at Hugo Boss, sitting next to Nirmala, one of the farmers, one of the 10,000 farmer families we are working with across 12,000 acres in Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and Karnataka, because we believe that things can be done in a different way, and especially we believe that when we bring everybody together, that we can really make changes. So what if we can relook at how cotton is being grown? What if we can relook at how the supply chains work? What if we can create something that is beneficial for everybody, that is creating beautiful products for Nora, for Hugo Boss, but that is also creating impact, real impact on the ground for the farmers, for everybody involved, so that we can really indeed create a better tomorrow.
Thank you. And then also to add to that, I think one of our major pillars is women empowerment. And that's where we have 82% of women farmers in our communities, wherever we work for Raddis Cotton. And she's one of our progressive farmer. She also is an entrepreneur, a local entrepreneur. She will tell a bit about it later. But thank you, Sanne. The next question to you. Nora, why did Hugo Boss choose to work with Raddis?
Yeah. We understood, I would say, many years ago that we need to have an approach to climate strategy, and we took it quite seriously. So we have high ambitions to really reduce our carbon footprint. So this is not counting only on product, this is counting on everything we do. And carbon footprint is something, when we talk particularly about product, it starts with the fiber. Yeah? And as we have a very high share of our products are made with cotton, so this has usually a huge impact on carbon footprint. We understood that regenerative farming is basically the answer towards reducing the footprint on the ground. Also, when you probably saw the video, is regenerative farming is all about creating a soil, a healthy soil. And a healthy soil is a soil that can basically store carbon. And when you have also a plant variety and you don't have synthetic inputs, you immediately get from a high footprint into a low footprint, and in best case even to carbon capturing in the soil. So this is also a technical reason why this is playing a huge role in our carbon calculations. Additionally, we have also understood biodiversity is also an important answer to not only agriculture, but especially there. So the loss of pollinators is really something that can, in the future, also impact our cotton harvest. So we need to take care to keep biodiversity in insects, also natural habitats alive. Because also this is for us leading to a sustained business. What also is important, I think, is for us transparency. We are based in Europe. We will soon have a product passport. So it is also about really understanding for each of our products, where is it coming from, and this really means from shop to farm level. So this is also within our regenerative journey. We know basically all of our regenerative farms, and we know in which products which farm plays into. When we met Raddis, and this was basically 5 years ago, we were quite still in the beginning of the journey, and this amazing collaboration helped us particularly to understand much more what regenerative farming is all about. This is it's not that catchy because regenerative farming is nothing that you can just copy paste. It's a very individual approach on the specific landscape, on whom you're working with, what size you have, what kind of machinery is available. So it's a very individual approach. With Raddis, we understood much more what it really means, what the impacts are. We were learning so much with you guys. Also, climate change is already there. We see already heavy rains. We see a lot of wind. We see droughts, and we see also, not only with you, but also with other farms that took the journey. The soil health created, the biodiversity created helps basically to have a much more resistant strategy on the field towards climate change. So the harvest outcome compared to a conventional cotton farming is much better. So this is again also about sustaining our business, because we need sustainable and constant supply of cotton, and also this is why Raddis is such a knowledge driver for us in understanding what it really means, what it takes, and we have here wonderful share of information.
Thank you so much. That was wonderfully explained.
Thank you, Nora.
To continuation of what you said, as a part of the climate change which we are facing, my next question would be, Nirmala, to you. Maybe I'll first say in English and then translate it in her local language. How is the climate change impacting farmers' life, and how is Raddis regenerative farming helping them to have a better, how is it showing any kind of role when you have these climate changes?
మనకి వాతావరణం అనుకూలంగా ఒక్కోసారి అనుకూలంగా ఉంటుంది, ఒక్కోసారి అనుకూలంగా ఉండదు. దానివల్ల మనము రాడిస్ పద్ధతిలో పాటించడం వల్ల కాటన్ అనేది దాన్ని ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్ళే ఇది ఉంటుంది. అంటే ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్ళాలంటే దాన్ని రాడిస్ పద్ధతిలో పాటిస్తే మనం కాటన్ అనేది ఇంకా
రైతుకి క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ వల్ల ఇంపాక్ట్ ఏం కలుగుతుంది అని
అంటే ఒక్కోసారి వాతావరణం అనుకూలం వల్ల రైతు ఒకసారి నష్టం వస్తుంది. కానీ మనం రాడిస్ పద్ధతిలో పాటిస్తే మనము రాడిస్ ఏంటంటే రైతుని ఇంకా ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్ళచ్చు.
ఎలా తీసుకెళ్తారు? ఏం పద్ధతులు? అంటే
మనం రాడిస్ పద్ధతిలో అంటే ఇప్పుడు రాడిస్ పద్ధతిలో అంటే మనం కెమికల్ అనేది వాడకుండా మన ప్రకృతిలో దొరికే మన ఆకులతో కషాయాలు కానీ అటువంటి తయారు చేసి మనం రైతులకి దేనికి అంటే ఏ టైంలో ఏ కషాయం కొట్టాలి, మొక్క ఎదిగే టైంలో మనం దాని గ్రోత్ పెరగడానికి ఏమి వేసుకోవాలి, ఆ విధంగా మనం పండించుకున్నట్టయితే వర్షానికి అనుకూలంగా మనం అనేది ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్ళవచ్చు. రైతులకు కూడా వర్షాన్ని అనుకూలంగా దాన్ని ఇంకా చాలా బెటర్గా ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే, ఇంకేమన్నా నేను చెప్పనా ఇది? I'll just translate in English what she said. So first thing she said is, yes, climate change is a challenge and it is changing year by year. And then she referred to the practices what she's following under Raddis regenerative cotton, whatever she's growing. She's growing 2 acres of Raddis regenerative cotton. And as a part of that, she follows all the regenerative practices that strengthens the tree and the roots. So when any such climate changes would actually, the tree can fight against it, is what she said. And all the concoctions, she's also an entrepreneur, as I said before. She has an NPM shop, non-pest management, so she does all those natural concoctions with the available sources like leaves, cow urine, cow dung. In her own place, she also sells them to the people who cannot prepare. And that's what she's promoting, that using them, the roots and the tree gets stronger, so that helps us to fight against the climate challenges we have. Do you want to add something? Okay, that's fine.
No, but I think this is also leading over to another topic we already touched, transparency, traceability. I think this is it's getting more and more important, especially for all the brands working in Europe. How do you make this happen? How do you check that basically your cotton is ending up in our products, and that we really also can find out basically which wonderful farming women is responsible for which of our cotton?
Okay, to start with, Nirmala is your farmer. Hugo Boss's farmer. And how we do this is we are very particular in our processes in terms of complete traceability, transparency. So what we do, our work starts from the seed. So we're very particular from the beginning in terms of choosing the right seed, and not just choosing and believing in our seed partner, but also our team goes to the warehouses of the seeds where the partner has, and then tests that. We do multiple tests, we check, we select the batches and only get those batches to our farmers. So that's one layer, and all our farmers and villages have unique codes which are very much limited to them, that won't repeat anywhere across the globe when we work. So which means if Nirmala has a code, it is only limited to her. It is similar to our unique codes of our governments like Aadhaar card or any other unique identity. And that is limited, and based on that, the entire value chain, we do have traceability. Example, after farm and Nirmala, that's a farmer, we also have during procurement, we do have different batches where we procure cotton from the villages, and the complete traceability even during transportation. It is not just we mentioning that there's traceability, we also make sure that one of our team escorts the truck to make sure that it is moving from one location to another location. Even at the processing, the ginning units, we have our team dedicatedly staying there for 3-4 months until all our cotton is moved out. We also maintain that kind of separate quality and segregation in terms of every partner. Firstly, we would proudly say that we have 14 global partners, and Hugo Boss is one among them. And among those, to maintain this kind of traceability, yes, there is a complete transparency, and after that process also we make sure that kind of batch is sent to Hugo Boss for their production. However, all this is currently manually done in the systems, but this year we are also coming up with our IT tool where everything will be more traceable and globally can be visible for our partners in one system.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think I want to ask my next question. Nirmala, I want to ask you something, continuation of this. I spoke about women empowerment, right? So I want to ask you, so for us, it is one of, women empowerment is our pillars for Raddis. I want to ask you how Raddis regenerative farming plays a role in women empowerment according to you. What do you think about ఆడవాళ్ళని అభివృద్ధిలోకి తీసుకురావడం?
ఇంతకుముందు ఇంతకుముందు మేము కాటన్ అనేది వేసుకోలేదు. కాటన్ వేసిన తర్వాత నుండి ఆడవాళ్ళని ఒక సామూహికంగా అక్కడ ఉండేలా చూసి వాళ్ళతో పాటు వాళ్ళని ఉపన్యాలు తెలుసుకొని మనం ఏ విధంగా ముందుకెళ్ళాలి, ఏ విధంగా మన కుటుంబాన్ని కూడా పోషించుకోవాలి, ఇంకా ఏ విధంగా కుటుంబాన్ని పోషించుకోవాలి, పిల్లలు చదువు కోసం ఏ విధంగా ఇచ్చేయాలని ఒక ఆలోచనతో ఈ కాటన్లో అందరం ఏకంగా అయ్యి దాంట్లో మేము కాటన్లో ఇంటర్ క్రాప్స్ వేసుకుంటామండి. దానివల్ల మనకి వచ్చే ఆదాయం, ఇంటర్ క్రాప్స్ వల్ల మనకి వచ్చే ఆదాయాన్ని ఈ కాటన్ వల్ల వచ్చే ఆదాయాన్ని మనం ఎంత ఖర్చు పెడుతున్నాం, దాంట్లో మనకి ఎంత వస్తుంది, మనం ఇంటర్ క్రాప్స్ వేసుకుంటాం, దాంట్లో మనం బయటికి మార్కెటింగ్ చేసేది చేసుకొని మిగిలింది మనం తినడానికి ఉంచుకుంటాం. దానివల్ల వచ్చే ఆదాయాన్ని ఆడవాళ్ళు పొదుపు చేసుకోవడం ఇది బెటర్గా ఉందని ఒక ఆలోచనతో ఇంకా ముందుకెళ్ళాలని, ఇంకా కాటన్లో ఇంకా మోడల్గా చెయ్యాలనేసి ఇంకా ప్లాన్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. బట్ ఏంటంటే ఇంటర్ క్రాప్స్ కంటే ఇంకా వాటిలో ఇంకేం వేసుకుంటే ఇంకా బాగుంటుందని ఒక ఆలోచనతో చేసుకుంటున్నా. మాకు ఎన్పిఎం షాప్ అని ఒక ఉంది, దాంట్లో కూడా ఆడవాళ్ళని అక్కడ ఒక ఆదాయంగా మేము పెడతాము. ఆదాయంగా పెట్టి వాళ్ళ కుటుంబాన్ని పోషించుకోవడానికి మేము అక్కడ ఎన్పిఎం షాప్లో కూడా ఒక ఆదాయాన్ని చూపిస్తాము. ఆ విధంగా మేము ముందుకు నడిపించుకుంటున్నాం సార్.
సో ఉపయోగపడుతుంది అని అంటున్నారా? Okay, so she gave a long explanation. First thing she said was, normally women from the communities don't step out that easy. And in the earlier farming, they were not collectively stepping out and doing any kind of farming. But when they started cotton 4 years back in their village, and that started with Raddis cotton. Earlier they were not sowing cotton, they had other crops like paddy, cashew, but cotton was never a commodity for them. When they started cotton, women also had joined hands and they come there and work in the farms together. That's when they talk. So that's when they get ideas. That's when they start thinking that what else can we do to have better income. And we in Raddis already follow the intercrops. So we do give them intercrops, and that's where they also come up with this. So what she said is that we think what other intercrops could also be benefited for us, and if we can also consume and as well do marketing for that, which also creates additional income. Is that one thing she said. And as I mentioned earlier, she has an NPM shop. She also mentions that when there are large orders, which she can't do all by herself, they join hands, and that is also another way of income the women get. So these practices are, first of all, making women more stronger. Okay? Okay. I was just asking if she wants to add something. Thank you, Nirmala. My next question, Sanne, maybe can you just give us... Give them a background about what are the future plans for Raddis, and how are we expanding? If you can give some explanation.
Yeah, definitely. So as you can hear, we are very excited about this, and we have big growth plans. So as of today, 10,000 farmer families, 12,000 acres. In the next 5 years, we wish to grow to 50,000 farmer families, 100,000, 1 lakh acres. Not only in India, but we have already expanded into Turkey, we are expanding into Brazil, Bangladesh, and also the African continent. So as Nora mentioned, regenerative is place-based. There is no one-size-fits-all. We have to look at what works in a given context. What Nirmala is doing in Eastern Ghats will not work the same in Turkey, will not work the same in Brazil. But how can we find what is best in that location? Especially, what we're doing in India is a beautiful example of that. There's so much indigenous wisdom around how we can deal with pests and diseases, how we can deal with soil fertility. We can look at biochar. We can make the soil into a sponge again. And indeed, we have climate change. We cannot avoid that, but we can see how can we reduce the impact that climate change is going to have. So we are really excited because we have more and more farmers who wish to join us. In the beginning, we just had maybe 1 or 2 farmers in a single village who were willing to give that a try. Even Nirmala started only with half an acre. Imagine it's your livelihood and we come and tell you that this is going to work. Of course, farmers will be reluctant in the beginning, thinking, who are these people and what are they going to do? But now we see more and more farmers wanting to join. We even have whole villages who are already working with us for the last years. So yeah, we believe there is a great potential. And also we believe in the power of the supply chain, the power of the value chain, that with the right sourcing, what Nora is doing, what Hugo is doing, with the right intention behind it, yeah, then this is really a possibility. And this is beyond cotton. This is also about empowerment of women. This is about household nutrition. This is about children having education. This is about improved livelihoods. This is so much beyond just cotton, but we use cotton as a driving force of that.
Thank you. So we are diversifying, and we're also geographically growing larger in other countries, and of course the regenerative model differs from different countries. That's a great way. Thanks, Sanne. Nirmala, one question while we talk about regenerative. How are the farmers getting inspired in the communities with the models we are working on? ఊర్లలో రైతులు ఎలాగా మనం చేసే మోడల్స్ చూసి ఆసక్తి చూపిస్తున్నారా, లేదా అసలు వస్తున్నారా, అడుగుతున్నారా, ఏమైనా ఉందాలా?
మోడల్స్ అంటే మనము కాటన్లో ఓన్లీ కాటన్ అనేది అది 1 by 1 అంటే భూమి ఎప్పుడూ పచ్చగా ఉండాలి. దాని తర్వాత మనకి అందులో కలుపు ఉండదు. బట్ ఏంటంటే దానికి వచ్చే చీడ పురుగులు కూడా మనకి తగ్గుతాయి. అందుకోసం మనం ఇంటర్ క్రాప్స్ అనేది వేసుకోవడం వల్ల దానివల్ల మనకి తెగుళ్ళు కూడా రావడం అనేది తగ్గుతుంది. దానికోసం మీరు ఎలా పండిస్తున్నారు ఏంటి అనేది పక్క వాళ్ళు అడిగి తెలుసుకోవడం, నేను ఈ విధంగా తయారు చేసుకుని నేను పండించుకుంటున్నాను అని వాళ్ళతో చెప్తుంటే బాగుంది కదా అనే ఒక ఉద్దేశంతో వాళ్ళు నా దగ్గరికి వచ్చి తెలుసుకొని వాళ్ళు కూడా నాతో పాటు వాళ్ళు ఫాలో అయ్యి వాళ్ళు అలాగే చేసుకుంటున్నారు. వాళ్ళు చేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఈ విధంగా చేయడం వల్ల బాగుంది, మాకు కూడా ఇలా వేసుకోవడం వల్ల చాలా ఆదాయం కూడా వస్తుంది. అనే ఒక ఉద్దేశంతో వాళ్ళు ఇలా ముందుకెళ్తున్నారు.
నిన్ను వచ్చి అడుగుతున్నారు. Okay.
వచ్చి అడుగుతున్నారు.
Okay. So first thing what she said is, as a regenerative practice, we do a lot of intercrops. That actually prevents a lot in pest attack and also in damaging the crop immediately. So while looking at that, the other farmers from next villages and even from her village, they come and check with her on how is it working, do you get better results, is it actually giving you better saving. And then when she explains about the model, they understand and they give it a try. So no farmer does it for all their acres, but they try, and when they see the results, they actually get expanded. So they reach her out to get the contact of who's actually doing it, who is promoting, who's giving you that kind of knowledge transfer. Please give us those contacts, and then they get in touch with them, is what she said. So according to her, yes, there is farmers are interested in following the practices, is what she said. And I know her because she was the one from her village 4 years back, looked at other farms and asked our extension officer, my team on ground, asking that what are these practices I would want to try. Her village has only 14 houses, a small village, and all 14 families today actually work with us, and they're doing regenerative cotton of 20 acres. It's a very small village, so they only sow cotton from regenerative, and that is from Raddis cotton. And she's one of that, and she also now promotes this to other villages. Thank you, Nirmala. Lastly, the last question to you. What would you like to share with the audience as a take-home message?
That's a good one. I was traveling some days also now with the team and really seeing it on ground. Yeah, for sure, I'm dealing since quite a long time for Hugo Boss for the regenerative farming strategy, but what I'm also seeing here is what a big potential India particularly has. We are dealing here with a lot of smallhold farmers. More than half of the population is basically working in agriculture.
Yeah.
But it's not yet seen as a value. It's something that should be created and seen as an asset. Yeah, because all of what we are talking about is on a very high level in terms of farming, in terms of biodiversity, in terms of female empowerment, and this is something very particular. This is something that the team shows it's able to embrace. It is also able to scale, basically. And I think it's now really on us, on everybody, to understand the value about it and bring it into the product. Yeah? That's probably my off-take of that.
Thank you, Nora. I think that's where I end my questions.
Yeah, that's indeed where we...
Yeah, we end the panel here.
That was our last question. Thank you so much.
I guess there's probably questions.
Sure. Any questions?
Question from the audience.
We'll be happy to answer.
So first of all, congratulations on a powerful women's panel.
Thank you.
And so I wanted to ask you, it's a great initiative, of course, as we discussed, and adding so much of value for the entire, let's say from farmer to the brands. It's adding value to everybody. I wanted to ask you, let's say for the supply chain to get associated with this process, how they should get associated with the Raddis cotton or other. How do they benefit to get associated, and how this process works?
You mean how to work with us?
Yes, especially for the fabric mills or spinners or that way.
Yeah, so as Raddis cotton, we supply fiber, yarn, fabric and garments, but mostly we supply fiber. And then we have spinning partners, also Ambika is sitting here, that spin the yarn for us and feed it into the supply chain. But we also sell as lint. Yeah.
So I think his question was about how can the spinners or the partners reach us out to work with us.
And if you want to reach us out, then my email
you can
ID
always
is in the
ping
back.
us, call us, and then we can discuss, because our processes are very stringent, where we are very particular in the traceability. So definitely, if everything works out, yes, we'll be more than happy, because during every stage of the supply chain, our team literally sits in the place of the partner.
And how does it help to create the digital passport? requirements?
Yeah, it's a great question because so I have been waiting now for years to have this digital product passport because I think it will help all of us a lot. So in our case, we collect so much data about even the seeds. Nirmala, which seed varieties she is sowing in her plots, where are her plots, where is her village, what has she applied, an enormous amount of data that we are already capturing in our system. That's also why now we are getting into the IT tool. But we also feel that even the stories, who has grown this cotton, where does it come from, should have a place in the digital product passport. So that's more about the let's say the journey of the cotton. But all this traceability and what Meenal was explaining about, it's really Nirmala's cotton ending up in Hugo Boss product. And of course, we feel so proud about that because we have done all that work around it. So we would love to have a digital product passport in a product of Hugo Boss that can also really show that journey, because we have the data, and not only the data, we have the real stuff happening on ground. So for us, the digital product passport will just be a great vehicle of showing what we have been doing and sharing that with others, feeding into their supply chains where they take it forward. Yeah.
So it can be also be the data will continue also in the fabric and the garment stage.
Yeah. So we make our data in a way that it can feed into the next phase. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thanks to all four of you, especially also to Nirmala, coming out for the first time. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
it's been great listening to her. From down from the ground. What does it mean for her? And thank you so much. Any other questions somebody want to ask?
So I have two questions. So one is on when you talk about region agri, or when you talk about conventional cotton, so how one can differentiate between region agri and cotton when it comes to forensic based? You are now only COC based, right? Chain of custody. So how one can really challenge that? Yes, it is region agri when it comes to DNA. Is the DNA different than conventional cotton? And when it comes to selection of seeds, is it GMO seeds or GMO seed?
No. GMO free.
GMO
yeah,
free.
non-B.
And my last connecting question, when it comes to data accuracy, how are you securing the data? Because what you mentioned, Meenal, is completely a document which is manual. So there is a challenge with the data validation, because when you are giving everything handwritten, not every hand is updating a correct data. So how many layers you have to validate these data? Do we have layers of people from the ground to the actual in accurating the data? Maybe.
I don't know, Nora, do you want to answer the forensic comparison between conventional and region agri? I can also do it, but I can imagine that you also know it.
I can also do it. When we talk about conventional, we are talking a lot about monocultures. We talk about a lot of synthetic inputs. We all know now of this little close of the Holmes Street, how impactful also fertilizers and synthetics are also on the price of the cotton, not only harming here the soil. So this is something that is particularly want to avoid in regenerative farming. We really want to embrace basically old knowledge that we had decades before the chemical industry stepped in and sold us all those wonderful products. We were also able to really have a fertile land and how to know to do land, to do agriculture. And it's basically bringing back this old knowledge about what is going with which plant best, how to bring a lot of microbes in the soil, how to build it up. Yeah, this is this is what is embraced by regenerative agriculture compared to conventional, I would say.
Yeah, to come back to your question about forensic DNA based. So let's say if you want to test a fiber, a conventional fiber and a regenerative fiber, then I would do a pesticide residue check to see what you are looking for. Because the forensic test is more used for, let's say, where does this cotton come from? Is it Chinese cotton? Is it Indian cotton? With that, you would be able to see if it's DNA, if it's GMO, yes or no. but you would not know how it has been cultivated. For that, I would recommend doing a pesticide residue test to see that difference. Yeah, I can definitely give you the recommendation. And so let's say in our case, grown in our way of regenerative, you will not find any pesticide residues. And then, of course, in conventional, you would find the pesticide residues. And in terms of the GMO testing, in ours, you would not find the GMO, and in the conventional.
Say, first farming happened, which is regenerative. So there'll be a residue of impression of pesticide still there. So how many time, let's say when it comes to organic, it takes 3 years to transition IC1 to IC2 to IC3. So what is that provision period for Regenerative to come back to pesticide neutral in the soil?
So according to us, I think it's very important, and Nora, you did not really touch upon that, but so if you look at regenerative, many people have many different opinions about what is regenerative. According to us, it's without any pesticides, without any fertilizers. And Hugo Boss, it's themselves have made a very beautiful framework around it to have that clarity of what they understand is regenerative. I don't know if you want to speak something about it, Nora, but so somebody could sell you regenerative cotton that has a lot of pesticides. According to them, that fits under Regen Agri. According to us, also according to Hugo Boss, that does not. So you always have to dig deeper and understand what is the real farming practice. And then I would recommend to get the Regen Agri audit reports, so that then you can really see what has been detected, what is the score. That gives you way more insights. Yeah.
The second question, what you asked about the documentation. So just to answer, we do have manual systems. So there are two ways. One, we do manually, and that is also fed into our systems. It's not only manual copies. We do have our data digitally available, but we want to keep that traceable for everyone. That's why we're building this IT tool. Yeah.
Is it more like a blockchain base or?
Yeah, initially not. But for example, we are working with Aware, that is blockchain based. So there we are working with them, let's say from Lint onwards. Our IT tool will eventually also be blockchain based, but we will start as of now without. Yeah.
Hello. Congratulations on the amazing work that you all are doing. My question is to Nora. So, global leading brand like Hugo Boss, to adopt these kind of solutions, what is the driving force? Is it consumer demand, or is it you want to, it's like to reduce a long-term risk? And are consumers understanding the value of, a brand like you seeking these kind of supply chain solutions?
Basically, I would say that is not even our goal. Yeah, for us, it's like, I think it's super hard for the end consumer to judge, because there's so many stories outside, and to evaluate which one is the best. It's really not, in our opinion, the responsibility of the consumer to find out what's best. So we really take it from the angle that we feel responsible about what we are doing, and we want to create for us a sustained business. So we feel responsible about everything we do, and we want to have that impact. So you will also rarely find on our products any communication around that, because for us this is just, it has to be there. And also when we ask our end consumer, he's not buying Hugo Boss because of sustainability, and he doesn't have to. But when he wants to find out, we have it on a group side, we have a strong approach, and this is basically, this is what is driving us. Yeah.
That is it. If yes, then we would give a big round of applause for the panel.
Thank you.
I want to know Ms. Nirmala's first panel?
Yes.
Is it her first panel?
Yes.
I think for the first panel, she did absolutely amazing.
Absolutely,
is there a way that you could tell her? I think from the next panel, she'll be rocking.
Yeah. చాలా బాగా చేసావు ఫస్ట్ panel కి. Next I think.
Thank you అండి.
Yeah, sir will give the gift for you, please. So,
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay.